Okay, can you all see now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. We're talking about I'll go through it a little faster, whatever we did.
Okay.
So we said we have compute services, like
Yes.
these are the various compute services which are available in Azure. Virtual machines, app service, container instances, Kubernetes services, Azure functions, and Windows Virtual Desktop. Okay.
Okay.
So just like we have seen the what do you say just like we have seen the storage services, right?
Yes.
So this is computer
Yes, sir.
service, compute service. So compute service and storage service, you have to take it separately always. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, virtual machine, what is the usage of virtual machine? For that, I have explained you before what is there are three types of service: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, right?
Yes.
So when it is infrastructure as a service, what it means,
We create an
you get
infrastructure.
only bare virtual machines, right? We just get the virtual machine, but everything you have to do yourself. The installation, the uh, the complete installation you have to do yourself. The software installation, the application installation, its maintenance, everything is your responsibility. So it is as if having your own system in office. So if you bring your own server in office, what will happen? You will install the operating system, you will install the application software, you will install the patches, you will install everything which is necessary, you will install yourself, you will maintain it yourself. That is infrastructure as service. Okay. But when it comes to platform as service, the platform is ready for you. That means the operating system installed, that the environment is created for you. All you have to do is just go launch your application and use it. That is platform as a service. And then you have software as a service. In software as a service, what happens is like you have even the software is provided by the cloud. So we have to just use the software. That's it. Nothing required from your side. Everything is done by the cloud provider. Okay, so that is the benefit of right.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So virtual machine comes under infrastructure as service. When you talk about virtual machine, it comes under infrastructure as service. So where you get uh, bare metal you will get. Where everything is your responsibility. You want to put everything inside. The software installation, the application installation, the maintenance, everything is your responsibility. What cloud provider has given you only the virtual machine. So that's why it's called suitable for infrastructure as service. The virtual machines are suitable for that. Okay. Then It enables lift and shift. What is lift and does anybody remember what do you mean by lift and shift? When you say lift and shift, what does it mean?
So it purely means
Then
like it's
you can take to
Hmm?
Uh, so Manoj, you had explained that you don't have to, physically move virtual machines and from one place to the other. You can first of all log into them whenever you want, and it reduces that hassle of having to move them from one place to the other. Like for example, you had given the example of shifting from one location to the other location.
Hmm.
So you don't have to do that in terms of virtual machines.
Virtual machine in the sense like we the in the premise we suppose there are machines physically if they are present we cannot lift and shift, but virtual machine anywhere we can go ahead and we can log in it.
No, no,
That
no.
is
Yes, Harsh, you tell me.
sir, whenever we require some type of hardware, we can directly get access, and when we don't require it or
No. No, not that. So actually, it means that if any company is having infrastructure on premises and if they want to move on cloud, okay, so they have their private network in office and now they have decided to move on cloud, okay. Then what do we do?
Uh, so obviously, the most basic thing it will require is having to, shift everything on the cloud side of the network because
Hmm.
they are currently on premise, and they'll
So
have
if
to
they want to go to
decommission.
the cloud, then the easiest thing is to take virtual machines. Don't take the platform as a service. Take virtual machines and just there are some tools by which you can just transfer the entire thing. You can make the virtual machine out of a physical system and load it there. Okay,
it
so
was correct.
quickly,
Okay.
whatever infrastructure you are having on premises, you can replicate on cloud using virtual machines, IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So same configuration. What you're doing in on premises, same thing you will do it on virtual machines. You set up virtual machines of same configuration, and you will set up the things on the cloud. Okay, so that's why it's called lift and shift. So the easiest way to migrate to cloud for any company is taking virtual machine or infrastructure as a service solution. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, Manoj.
Ibrahim is just joined. Ibrahim, can you hear me, Ibrahim? Ibrahim, can you hear me, please?
you. Hear you. Sorry, I have a problem with the speaker. So forgive me. I'll be not able just to talk. Now I'm talking without speaker. So when I connect my headphone, I will not be able just to talk to you.
just make settings in Teams. It should work.
It's not about settings. I have a problem with the mic in my headphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I connect my headphone, I will not be able just to talk to you. No, I'm just using the out speaker of my mobile because I'm connecting through mobile.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Someone can tell me IaaS stands for what?
Infrastructure as a service.
Infrastructure
As a service.
as a service. Okay, okay.
चालेल चालेल ठीक आहे चालेल 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 Okay, so I think it's clear. So if any company wants to migrate to cloud, infrastructure as service, they take virtual machines of the same configuration on the cloud and just replicate the thing. What you're doing on premises, you can replicate on the cloud. That's why it's called lift and shift. Okay. After that, then you can explore the other options of platform as a service and all. Then it's easier. But if you want to quickly go to the cloud, then this is the solution for you. Okay.
Through Azure Connect.
Using which tool exactly?
Using what?
Tool. Is there any tool or the platform in between?
Sir,
There is no tool. You have to set up same network. You have studied now how to create virtual networks, subnets, and create virtual
Mhm.
machines.
sir, Azure
Mhm.
Connect is required for that, correct, sir?
No,
No?
are lift and shift, my dear. When you're lifting and shifting means what? You want to dismantle the on-premises infrastructure.
Setting up the infrastructure. Okay.
You have to remove the on-premises infrastructure and then shift to cloud. That is called lift and shift. It's like changing room. You're going from one room to another room. So what you do? Lift and shift.
Mhm.
Getting me?
Sir,
Getting
but
my point now?
whenever we are like shifting, then again all whole infrastructure like VNet, application gateway, subnets, this all has to be set up, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Sir,
Everything has to be done.
sir. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Clear now?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Now, the next thing is
Ritik is saying
we
something. Anuj.
yeah, Ritik, tell me.
Shifting, it means like shifting from
Louder,
one
my dear,
network to
louder.
it means like shifting from one network to another,
Yeah, it means shifting from
like
office
from
network.
IaaS to
Office
PaaS.
network. अरे ऑफिस में रहता है ना आप नेटवर्क बनाते हो उसको शिफ्ट
Yes.
करना है क्लाउड पे
Okay.
After the class, Ritik, you please call me. There's one important thing I want to discuss with you. Hmm?
Sure, sir.
Clear? ऑफिस में नेटवर्क है तुम्हारा ऑफिस का जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सर्वर्स है वो सब निकाल के आपको क्लाउड पे लेना है अभी सब कुछ ऑफिस पे कुछ झंझट रखना नहीं है दैट्स कॉल्ड लिफ्ट एंड शिफ्ट ठीक है ना क्लियर नाउ व्हाट आई एम सेइंग
So lift and shift
Yes.
means on premise to cloud, right?
यस ऑन प्रीमाइस टू क्लाउड करेक्ट
Thank you.
यहाँ से पूरा बोरी बिस्तर बांध के क्लाउड में जाने का इट मींस दैट
सर हम लोग क्लाउड पे ही है.
राइट then we can have virtual machine scale sets that I've already told you. What is scale set? It will scale out or scale in automatically
Change the
depending
number
on the
to-
workload. Automatically to scale in, scale out depending on the workload, right? Clear?
That is called
Yes, ma'am.
VMSS, no?
Yeah. Then we also have, so what we are discussing today, Ibrahim, is the uh, compute services. We're discussing compute services.
Okay.
So the very basic thing in the compute service is a virtual machine and virtual machine scale set. But we also have something called as Azure Batch. What is the job of Azure Batch? It enables parallel processing. Parallel processing means what?
Many jobs will run at a time.
Many jobs will run at a time.
Yes, sir.
No. Parallel processing I had explained last time. Who will tell me? Sanjay? Arfat, are you there? Arfat?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Which I
What is
remember
parallel processing?
you had mentioned that multiple processes, instead of having to uh, have one process run at a time, then the next process run at a time, it has the I mean, there is a feature, Azure has this feature called as Azure Batch, which allows you to, which works like a supercomputer, and through that, multiple processes can run at the same time, and it happens at the same time through parallel processing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like dividing the workload amongst many processors. That is the
Correct.
principle of supercomputing. Supercomputing computer works by that, you know.
Correct. Yeah.
Like instead of
And
one system, instead of one processor, there will be multiple processors doing the job,
multiple.
right? So they divide their work amongst many processors.
And
All right.
in fact, yeah, in fact, if we read the point number 3, which says it has ability to scale to tens, hundreds of thousands of VMs powered up to do parallel processing. So I think it also means that you don't have to shut down a few virtual machines to then incorporate some others. So you can do them at the same time without having to shut down uh, some other virtual machines.
Uh, ours is a trial account, no? That's why you have to shut down and do things like that.
Correct. Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no need to shut down. So
Yes.
there are some computing, some type of computers which requires this Azure batch, which requires lot of machines. It requires the power of supercomputer. So that time you can go for Azure batch. And the supercomputing means that multiple processors they work together on a particular task. How they work together? By dividing the tasks. It's like the job of marriage. I told you. I gave you the example of marriage. How marriage works. Marriage task कैसे चलता वो मैंने आपको बताया, right? It's like
Yes. Correct.
dividing the whole task amongst many processors. Getting me? Yeah.
Sir, it's a very simple question. Just I'm asking, how can
Hmm.
I understand in a better way, like what is the process? Like, can you just one give example one or two?
What process?
Means processor. What processor? What? How can I understand what are the processor?
Processor
Means
means the hardware, the computer. The computer has a processor, isn't it?
yes.
One computer has one processor. Or it can have multiple processors also. Nowadays, you have one quad core, means four cores, means four processors. Getting vCPUs, virtual CPUs.
So supercomputer has m- many processors. You can say.
Yeah, thousands of, it's like thousands brains. You have one
Okay.
brain and it's working so much. Just imagine if you have four brains, what will happen? Everybody can imagine Niaz with four brains, what will happen?
Multitasking.
Oh,
Yeah,
Only
multitask.
only Niaz will speak, everyone else will be silent.
कंप्यूटर की
Niaz,
जरूरत ही नहीं है.
yeah. Yeah, so every computer has one processor, you can say. So if there are multiple processors, it's like multiple computers working together on to solve a particular problem. It means that they
So,
work as a team, and
so I can say, sir,
that is the
Intel is
analogy
one
of
process.
supercomputer. Yeah, tell me.
So I can say our computer has only one processor, like our physical. The
Hmm.
same way we can the virtual machine has many processor, like Intel, one processor, two processor, three processor,
Yeah,
like that way.
yes, yes.
So it would be having more what we say resources like CPU and
CPU means processor. When you say
yeah.
CPU, it
So
means processor.
yeah, so it would be having like very large, huge number of CPU, right?
Yeah,
That
that's what it's
okay,
mentioned here. No, tens, hundreds, thousands of VMs powered up
okay,
to do parallel processing.
okay,
It's like
okay,
1,000 computers are working together. 1,000 VMs, virtual machines work together to solve a particular problem.
okay. Yes, yes, got it.
Clear now? So that is the ability of supercomputer, and that is the ideology of supercomputer. Supercomputer works that way.
Okay. So Azure virtual machine also has like a feature like Azure batch that is called a supercomputer like virtual machines we can have.
Azure Batch is a service which is available in Azure. You can subscribe for the service. Just like you can subscribe for virtual machine, you can subscribe for virtual machine scale set, you can subscribe for Azure Batch.
Okay,
It's a service which is available in Azure in the marketplace. If you go and say ask for Azure Batch, you will get it. And there you can decide how many computing devices you want. You want 10, 20, 100,000, how many you want. So you just give a number and those many will be ready for you for working for you for a particular task. Clear now?
okay, yes.
Any other question? Anyone?
Yes, and this comes under virtual machine only, right?
Yeah, this is kind of
Okay,
virtual machine,
okay,
right?
yes.
Then next. Now, what is the use case of virtual machine? Let's see where these virtual machines can be used. That's why we say use case of virtual machine, right? Oh, here we are. Just give me a second, huh? Just a second.
Yes, sir.
This everything was in Tuesday's class, right? Whatever we are going through.
I was absent, bro.
Tuesday also?
Yeah,
Yes,
Tuesday I was not there.
Okay. Ibrahim, Sanjay, Arfat, Ritik, can someone answer?
Mr.
Ritik, I
Harsh.
am.
Oh, Harsh is also there.
Hello.
Yes, Ritik.
Everything was discussed in Tuesday's class, but extra
Uh-huh.
questions like Azure Connect and everything else was in this class, like the explanation and everything.
And what about Saturday?
Saturday we have
Mudassir,
a
Mudassir, you've been absent for 4 days or what?
No, two. Saturday I was not there. Tuesday I was not there.
I'm like you exactly.
Mm.
I've been absent for 3 classes, I think so.
Oh, okay.
So,
How is your
Mudassar, I
brother?
remember.
Yes, Sanjay.
Sorry, I
I
was saying. I remember
Hmm.
Saturday we finished quite early. We just did that exercise once again.
correct.
I think
Oh,
a part of the exercise was remaining. Niaz shared his screen and he completed the exercise. And we
Okay.
uh-huh.
finished early on Saturday. We did not cover any new
Uh,
concept or we did not start any new concept.
yes.
Okay. Cool.
We
All right.
we did with the these things application gateway, virtual
Gateway, yes.
networks, virtual machines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there was networking things we did. So the traffic we traffic were passing that traffic routed to the different
Please
virtual
copy.
machines through net gateway.
Mm-hmm.
So that what exercise we did on Saturday. And on
Okay.
Tuesday I was unavailable. I was like
Mm.
absent. So what just to understand in this for this we discuss only the same page
Yeah.
number.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, we started with virtual machines actually. This same topic.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now use case of virtual machines. Where do we use it? See, you can use it for testing and development also. Like if you want to test some software just for testing purpose, so you can subscribe for virtual machines and you can use it for some time and you can return it back, right? So you're not paying, you just pay for use. You will
Yes.
use it and then you will drop it, right?
Correct,
Like
sir.
that. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is one application of virtual machine for testing and developing. So after the job is done, we can delete the virtual machines. Once the job is done, the virtual machines can be deleted. Right?
Yes, sir.
Then then running applications in cloud. Yeah, because of virtual machines, if you deploy some application in the cloud, you can access it from anywhere, right? So that is another benefit. Then extending your data center to the cloud. Extending data center to cloud means what? The extending data center to cloud means extending our on-premise network to the cloud. It means to extend our on-premise network to the cloud. Okay.
Sir, hello. Hello. Hello.
So this is a very common scenario that you want to extend. Like one is lift and shift. Lift and shift means what? You have taken everything, whatever is there on premises, you have taken to the cloud. That's called lift and shift. But extending means what? Extending means whatever is there on premises, it is there on premises. But the new infrastructure you are taking on the cloud. Hello, are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Manoj.
Manoj.
Yes.
Yeah, we
So
do.
that is the very common application.
Sir, hello. Hello.
Huh.
Sir, I have question on running application in the cloud.
Hmm.
So we understand the first point that testing and development, we if we are doing testing and development, just create a VM and just test it for and
एक तो
do
इसका
your
खोलना है.
development and delete it. So the second point is running application, like application running, the application is created by the developers in the VM. So so what does it mean? Like different application is we set up in the VMs that you are saying?
Niaz, I can give you an example on this one.
Yes, yes, please.
So these days, in a lot of companies, when you join a company and your main work is done on a particular application, you don't need that application to be installed on your local computer in the office. The client that you're working for, they always have a remote desktop that you will log into, or they are usually on cloud. So you'll just log into their cloud instance, and inside the cloud instance, you just already have those applications under your login session, under your cloud session. So you can directly just log into those applications which are supposed to use for your daily work. You don't need those applications installed on your office laptop.
But those would be on the VMs, right?
Yeah, in a way, they're in the cloud itself, right? I mean, how
Ah,
exactly are
I
we?
got
Yeah,
it. I got it. The
yeah,
VMs only. That is what I was asking.
that's correct. Yes, yes.
Ah,
So, for example, I'll give you. So, when Arfat and I work work in all scripts, we try to have help various hospitals who are using Allscripts application on cloud. So
Sorry,
we
I
just
got one call, so I got little like tell me any questions there, gentlemen?
he had a
My
question about point number 2, but I've given him an example to explain that running applications in the cloud.
Yeah. Okay, so point number 3 is also clear. Extending your data center to cloud is clear, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Niaz, I hope that helped, or if you have any questions.
Okay.
yeah, I hear your point. I
Riaz will have
understood.
many questions. Yes, tell me. Just Ibrahim,
Yes,
is it
sir.
clear to you? Ibrahim.
The application may be any
Yes, I can
application
hear you. I
from the
can hear you.
client, right?
One person at a time. Yes, Riaz, tell me.
My question is application is like installed by the client in the VMs, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Niaz, you're
Okay,
right.
that
Yeah.
is my question
आपका
was.
अभी वही है ना आपके ऑफिस में कुछ एप्लीकेशन वीएम में इंस्टॉल किया डायरेक्टली कुछ एप्लीकेशन कुबरनेटिस में इंस्टॉल किए आप लोगों ने ठीक है ना
हाँ हाँ
ठीक है आपका आर्किटेक्चर देखते नहीं आप खाली ऐसे बम मारते हैं
नहीं नहीं उसी से रिलेटेड मैं क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा था कि मेरे आने से तो पहले इंस्टॉल था ना सर, तो वो कौन
हाँ
करता है? तो डेवलपर करेगा या फिर क्लाइंट करेगा?
हम दुनिया
वो
में
इसके
आने के
हिसाब से
पहले
मैं पूछा।
से पूरा दुनिया पहले से बनी हुई थी ना क्या करे वैसे ही तुम्हारा है तुम
इसीलिए
कंपनी
तो
ज्वाइन
क्वेश्चन
करने के
होता है
पहले
सर।
सब बना हुआ था
यस सर।
हम दुनिया में आने के पहले भी दुनिया थी और जाने के बाद भी दुनिया रहेगी
यस यस सर, इसीलिए क्वेश्चन होता है सर।
ओके Then last thing here is disaster recovery. During disaster recovery, if we can set up a simple disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery plan means what? Hmm?
Securing our data.
It is extending your data center to cloud. Uh, it's like backup of your data. Can I say that?
Yes.
And which is exactly opposite to lift and shift. Means we are doing cut paste.
So what was his point was like whenever you are shifting your infrastructure from on-premise to cloud, so
Hmm.
definitely it is going to lift and shift, and the same time the data center also is like created over the cloud, like redundancy, different
Hmm.
datas at the different location.
That is in what? Lift and shift or this extending your data center point?
Both is coming here actually under this extending your data center. So if this point, if you consider like data center, so definitely the redundancy, like the different zone the data would be available.
नहीं पापा
Hmm.
एक्सटेंडिंग वो नहीं है
फिर
कौन सा वाला एक्सटेंडिंग और डेटा सेंटर बोल रहे हैं ड्यूरिंग डिजास्टर रिकवरी बोल रहे हैं कौन सा बोल रहे हो तुम
थर्ड सर।
हाँ तुम गलत चीज मत बोलो भाई साहब extending your data center
डेटा
is different thing redundancy is different thing
सर, तो डेटा
extending
सेंटर
I
यहाँ पे क्या आ
explained
रहा
to
है
you
सर?
no wait कम बोलो लेकिन धीरे बोलो कम बोलो extending your data center to the cloud means what? You already have a data center, private data center. Your on-premises network is called as data center, your private data center. Getting me? Private cloud. We can call it as private cloud also. The network infrastructure that you have in office is called as private cloud. That you want to extend it on the cloud. Means any new infrastructure If you want to have any new servers or anything, you will take it on the cloud. So extending means that your local infrastructure you are extending to the cloud. मतलब आधा इधर है आधा उधर है. Got it now, Mudassir?
Yes, now clear.
Yeah, so most of the companies they are doing that. Many of
Mhm.
the companies, the old companies, they have a lot of infrastructure on premises. That is the private cloud. Or they can call it data center also. उसको data center भी बोल सकते हैं. Private data center. But now they are extending to the cloud. Means whatever new infrastructure you want, they are going to put it on the cloud. And they'll connect the two. Got it now? Clear, everyone?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Nias, clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Then you have disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery plan is about that if your server fails, then what happens, right? If your infrastructure fails, it gets punctured or something happens, then what do you do in that case? So for that, you need to create another identical environment in the cloud. Okay. So you will create virtual machines, the virtual networks, exactly like your current infrastructure, but you will shut it down. Why you will shut it down? Because if you keep it on, it will consume resource, it will cost you money. You shut it down, but the day it fails, you will start the virtual machines. So this is the very easiest and simplest and easiest what way of disaster recovery. So every company has something called as disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery plan means if everything goes wrong, still the company should survive, still the company should work. That is called disaster recovery. This is clear now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in simple terms, we can say backup.
Yes.
So I think now this part is clear to everyone, correct?
Yes, sir.
Arafat, are you there? Arafat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Sanjay?
Yes,
Sanjay?
Mohammed.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Now next is Azure App Service. Now what is Azure App Service? So
Sir,
Azure App Service is your platform as a service. Azure App Service is platform as a service. Wherein app means what? The web applications. And most of the applications today are web applications, means something which runs on the website. And website runs on what? IIS, right? Infrastructure. You have installed IIS so many times, right? It works on
yes,
that. But you know that to run that IIS, you install virtual machine, you install the web service, and then you configure it, then you're able to access, right? But when you come to this app service, it is platform as a service. That means the cloud provider is going to do most of the job. It will create the environment, it will create the server, it will have IIS, everything is there. It's serverless architecture. You will not see the virtual machine there. It will just give you a placeholder where you put your application and it will work. Getting everyone? Hello?
so sir, you were saying that
Yes, Mohammed.
Azure App Service will handle each and everything by its own, and we do not have to create virtual machine, or we do not have to manage manually anything.
Correct, 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 correct. To the
सर
point.
ये तो खाना 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 बना हुआ मिल जाता है सर इससे तो.
Yes, वही तो प्लेटफॉर्म एज सर्विस वही तो है रेडीमेड चीज मिल गया तुमको
हाँ
ठीक
सर,
है ना
या लकी.
तुमको सब तवा मिल गया सब कुछ मिल गया लेकिन खाना तो आपको डाल के पकाने का है ठीक है ना
And that's the reason
रेडीमेड
there are
खाना
so
मिला
many.
मतलब तो सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस हो गया बट अगर आपको पूरा किचन मिल गया, उसमें गैस मिल गया, तवा मिल गया, सब कुछ मिल गया, तो इट्स प्लेटफॉर्म एज सर्विस, वो आपको खड़ा करने की जरूरत नहीं है। समझे क्या?
यस सर।
So that is Azure App Service. So I think your architecture also has Azure App Service, right? In that.
नो
Yes,
सर।
your company architecture में शायद देखा था मैंने App Service.
हाँ सर, वो अभी यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं सर।
अच्छा, अभी यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं. Okay.
नहीं।
So I've used this app service for one of our customers.
ओके।
तो उसमें ये you can develop web apps in any of this platform, ASP.NET, Java, Python, Node.js, any programming language of your choice. So when you set up this service, it is asking you which programming environment. So any programming language of your choice, and also the operating system. You can choose Windows or Linux. If you
ओके।
use Linux operating system, then it is cheaper sometimes. Like we had set up Windows operating system, so they found out that Linux is easier, cheaper. So they spun up the Linux operating system there. Okay, because the cost of Linux is less. Yeah.
सर।
So
सर।
that is web apps.
सर,
Hmm.
then one question in my mind is, if the app service is there and if it is managing everything, and we do not have to do manually anything, then the cost will be, I think it will be charging more, I think the Microsoft, as compared
Yes.
to VM. Is it so?
Yes, it will be more charge. Yes.
ओ, ये पीछे है ना इसके रीजन।
Yeah, it will be more charge, but eventually it will become like that only. Eventually, the cost will go down. Okay. Otherwise, you will have to do yourself. You have to employ another person to do all that thing. ऐसे भी चार्ज लगने वाला है ना. कोई आदमी को आपने डिप्लॉय किया, उसको तो मंथली सैलरी देगा ना, कि नहीं देगा तुम?
हाँ।
देगा ना फिर. एजूर को सैलरी देने में क्या प्रॉब्लम है तुमको?
मेरा जॉब खा जाएगा ना सर।
Okay, now next. API apps. So there are different types of apps which you can deploy using the Azure App Service. One is web apps, which is web application apps. Second thing is API apps. API is what? Application Programming Interface. It's like some functionality which is built using the API. API is normally used by the application. Web apps is used by the end user. But API कौन use करेगा? Application will use the API. Okay? Clear? Normally it is like that. Applications will use the API. And it can be consumed by HTTP or HTTPS client. वही तो बोल रहा है, HTTP, HTTPS client. So if you have some software which is HTTPS or HTTPS, they can consume this API. They can deploy this API. They can use this API to perform some task. And to access this API, it's called REST API. REST API is like you will access it using some URL, just like you access some website. It will access the API using some URL. Are you getting this concept?
नो सर।
नहीं, क्या नहीं समझ में आया नियाज?
सर, वेब ऐप रहेगा वो भी तो एक एपीआई यूज करेगा ना सर फिर।
क्या वेब?
वेब ऐप भी तो, उसका भी तो एपीआई रहेगा सर। ये एपीआई एप्स और वेब एप्स मतलब।
समझे नहीं क्या बोलते हैं?
सर वेब ऐप में वेब ऐप है और एक एपीआई एप्स, ये दोनों का मुझे डिफरेंस नहीं पता चला सर।
किसको पता चला बोलो? And is there anyone who can explain? Harsh, did you understand?
Yes, sir. Web apps can be uh, all the websites and other similar things that we make. Uh, Node.js and Python, Java, Flask, and but API apps are like things that are like hosted, so they have a specific URL. And if we press some button like submit, then it goes to another route, like to send a request, to post a request, and also all these different requests are handled by API.
Correct. Good. Harsh is a programmer. He knows programming, so he's able to connect the things properly.
We are making a software for a client. So we are using this REST API
Making what?
software.
For a client. You're making some software for client.
Yes,
Which software
our
you're
team in our team in IEEE is making. So
Hmm.
I'm also
Oh, so using REST API.
yes.
What is the software like? What the software is going to do?
It is a software for a business. He wants something for his cashier. So there will be two types of login, one for the admin and then cashier. So if someone buys a product, the billing has to be done. Then there are reward point system. So when you shop for some amount of money, you will get some points, and then if you refer some customer, you get some more points. You can redeem those points, and then admin can see all the sales analytics and
Okay. Yeah, so Harsh is using these APIs. Anybody, have you understood what he said?
Yes, Manoj. Yeah.
You should have some actually, to understand this completely, you should have some software background. This is because this app service is meant for the software developers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually,
So,
when we did this REST API for the first time, I watched some YouTube videos and I got to know that there are 5 or 6 such API models. Like, for example, REST API, there are 4 or 5 more types of API models. So that's what I got to know. And there are a lot of videos which really help us understand how REST API works.
hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
But simply said, I would just say that API is nothing but ready-made library. Okay. Ready-made
correct.
software to perform some task, right? That you have to understand. And these APIs are consumed by the software. They are not for direct consumption by the clients, by the users. As far as you are concerned, you will consume web applications directly. But API apps will be consumed by the web apps. Web apps will maybe call these APIs to do some task. Getting now? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
But how they'll call using
Uh,
REST protocol. REST is a protocol, and that protocol, what it does, it helps you to call those applications or APIs using simple URLs. And because of that, because of this REST interface, REST protocol, it doesn't matter that API is in Python or Java or .NET or whatever, right? So the application just calls using REST language, REST interface. So irrespective of what language that particular API is written in, it is going to work. Getting? So that is the beauty of
so
that
Manoj,
REST. REST will
yes.
really rest your mind, give you a rest peace of mind. Yes.
So I think you were saying that for the end user, that is not of a concern to the end user, but the application is making use of the REST API to fetch the data
Yes.
or whatever is
Yes.
needed
Yes.
by the user.
Yes.
Yes. Correct. Correct. That's right. That's right. Same thing is true for web jobs also. Web jobs is similar concept that it is a program which will do a particular task. And again, this is web jobs will be called by the web apps only, right? End user is not going to directly interact with that. And last but not the least is mobile apps. So Azure App Service will also help to create mobile apps. Allows to build iOS and Android mobile apps. iOS and Android mobile apps, right? Store mobile data on the SQL database. If you want to build the mobile apps, again, you have to set up a lot of things, but your ready-made environment is there. You can just go and start building the application, mobile applications. So that is the beauty of this. So store mobile data on the SQL database also. So it really makes it easier for building the mobile applications. You have to store data of the mobile apps, right? In the SQL database, then authenticate using Google, Twitter, Facebook. So these are the common things. If you create a mobile app, one issue comes is the authentication, right? How to authenticate users. So with this, it will be easier. Send push notifications. Push notification means based on it can alert users for certain things based on some condition, exception happening. So all these things are possible using Azure App Service. So Azure App Service is a platform as a service which is available in Azure for developers. This is clear to everyone now. We can only get the overview. Okay, getting gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Ibrahim, Ibrahim getting Ibrahim. Kef, are you joined? Kef is joined or not? Kef, Kef he asked me.
No, sir.
He is fasting today. I literally repeated the entire thing today, right? Then comes the Azure Container Instances, Azure Kubernetes Service, the hot topic for Niaz.
Thank you,
Niaz,
sir. I've been waiting for this.
yeah, but this is here it is overview, but I have one more presentation only for Azure Kubernetes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So Azure Container Instances or Azure Kubernetes Services. So first of all, let me ask Niaz only, what is container? What is different with container and virtual machine? Can you tell me, Niaz?
Sir, virtual machine is
I
the
want the difference between virtual machine and container.
sir, containers are the what I can say. These are the uh, like packages I can say. Uh, like in Docker, we are using container of the where it runs. Like all the libraries and all the packages are there in the containers. So it's what is the definition? A small word is there. I'm not able to get that word. Uh, so mm,
Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
yes, sir.
Yes, Sanjay, you tell me what is the difference between container and virtual machine? Sanjay, you were present for the class, correct?
Sir, container is like I would say it is in light in weight. I would say yes.
गूगल
It's
करके
very
पढ़ रहा है
light.
तो पुस्तक भी
Nice sir.
गूगल
It's
कर रहा है क्या
nice sir. गूगल क्यों करेंगे
लाइट
सर?
वेट कहाँ से आ
हमने
गया
पढ़ा है सर, डॉकर में एक्चुअली कंटेनर ही यूज होता है और इसमें भी कुबरनेटिस में भी कंटेनर ही यूज होता है. सो ये बहुत लाइट वेट होता है एज कम्पेयर टू, बिकॉज इसमें जो हम
लाइट वेट
ऑपरेटिंग
होता है
सिस्टम
मतलब
यूज
क्या होता
करते
है?
हैं ना,
लाइट वेट मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट्स लाइट?
लाइट वेट मतलब सर कि हम लोग जैसे वर्चुअल मशीन में हम लोग ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम यूज करते हैं, राइट? लेकिन कंटेनर में ऐसा नहीं रहता है सर। कंटेनर में हम लोगों को अ, एक मशीन जैसा ही रहता है, लेकिन वो बहुत अ, क्या बोलूँ मैं, इसमें ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम नहीं होता है सर इसमें।
Yes,
उसके
Sanjay, can you answer
लाइब्रेरीज
this question? Sanjay, are you there?
Yes, Manoj. Yes, yes. So we discussed in the last class that the container is actually an environment, and inside the containers, I mean, there is a difference in terms of how it works in terms of virtual machines and how it works in terms of containers. So I think the point which Niaz mentioned just now, that was the main highlight that we had discussed last time. That in terms of a container, we don't have to manage the operating system. It itself is a virtualized environment, and it can be stopped and started quickly whenever required. We don't have to shut down the virtual machine. We don't have to switch it on again and again, but it can be done quickly if required. We can start it and we can stop it quickly. And unlike the virtual machines, we don't have to manage the operating system, because on the virtual machine you have to manage the operating system also.
Okay.
Yeah. And you had shared that diagram also in the previous class, where you had explained the difference between the virtual machine setup and the container setup.
Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, we saw that one of the most popular ones is the Docker. Was one of the most popular container engines is Docker.
yes, it's a containerized application
Yeah.
tool.
Sir, hello.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Harsh, would you like to say something?
I think container is like uh, it gives us isolation one level above operating system. So it is using the hardware and resources of the machine, the actual machine and the operating system, but the storage and files that are there in a container are all isolated. So if we have like a web application, so uh, our code and all the required libraries and all, we can just pack it in a container and give it to someone. So the other person does not have to install everything separately. Uh, in VM, we have to like set up actual computer. Here we are just sending like a package of files or storage.
Yes, Harsh.
Yes. Right. What Harsh said is also correct.
Yeah.
Simply said is this, like in virtual machine, you have to, it's a complete machine. What the last statement which Harsh made, virtual machine is a complete machine we are setting up, the operating system, the application, every damn thing, right? But container is using the operating system of the host. Okay, Mudassir getting Mudassir.
Yes, Manoj.
So it is using the hardware and the operating system of the host. And what it contains is only the application environment. All dependencies, whatever is required for the application, everything is put in the container. So that's why it is lightweight. Why it is lightweight? Because it has just enough information for the application. Getting Niaz, when you said lightweight means that containers are lightweight because they don't have operating system.
Correct,
They
sir.
have only application and the dependencies of the applications.
Yes, sir.
Clear? That's
Yes,
why
sir.
it is lightweight.
Yes, sir. And whenever they are
Hello, sir.
running, they use the operating system of the host.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Please just can you come again? What is container? Because I got just disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah. The virtual machine has the operating system also. Virtual machine is a complete machine in itself.
Virtual machine is clear, but container.
The container will use the operating system of the host of the physical system where it is installed. Okay. It doesn't have operating system. Getting? Hello? That's still
Yeah.
getting?
Yes,
So
yes, getting.
the
But
different, we can say the difference only that between virtual machine and the container, that the virtual machine has operating system and container no operating system container.
Container does not have any operating system. It is
Yes.
only application and the application environment, application dependencies, only that is there in the container. So everything which the application requires is contained in a container. It doesn't have windows. It depends on the host of operating system. Host means the physical system where the container is running is going to use the operating system of the physical system. Okay, that is host. So that's why it's lightweight. Whereas virtual machine, it has got its own operating system. Okay. So virtual machine will be a little heavy because it has to start, stop the operating system. Everything has to be managed, right?
انا مشيت يا
But container only application
طبعا
environment and
عندي حاجه مش
application
هحصل كده
specific.
كده.
Got it now? Hello?
Hmm. Yes,
Mudassir,
Manoj.
clear
Yes, yes.
Mudassir?
Yeah, I got the concept. Just one question. A container, what is exactly the container? I mean, in simple terms, like virtual machine is how OS and everything is there. In that concept, container is what exactly?
Container is only application, nothing else.
Application. Okay, okay. Fine.
Container is the application. Application and its dependencies, whatever libraries it requires, whatever environment settings it requires, any setting file, everything is contained in a container for the application, right?
Okay, okay.
Virtual machine is operating system plus application, but container is only application. Okay?
So Mudassar, like we were doing the RDP to the virtual machine in the Azure exercises that we did. So here we don't have that virtual machine at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No.
it is only the application directly. You don't have to take care of what is there on the virtual machine, whether it has the operating system or not.
Right,
Yes,
right.
you are correct.
Okay. So because see, when you make an application, then to deploy the application is a big task. But if you set up a container for that, it's like a as the real life container, उसमें सब डाल दो जो चाहिए एप्लीकेशन के लिए जो भी जरूरत है सब उसमें डाल दो बंडल कर दो और फिर इधर से उधर भेज सकते हैं आप किधर भी राइट यू कैन send to Sudan also no problem it will work there also clear
Yes, Manoj, got it.
that's why it's called container everything required for the application any dependencies any environment. Otherwise, you know that when you install any applications, it requires many things sometimes. उसको ये भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए, सब कुछ चाहिए, right? So we avoid doing all that thing.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So container is the thing nowadays which is being used. आजकल container ही use हो रहा है.
Yes, sir. हम लोग भी यूज करते हैं सर.
हाँ, मुझे पता है करते हैं.
You are very smart, sir.
Yes.
Manoj, is that the reason why we are seeing so much of marketing for Kubernetes these days? Everywhere they're making ads about Kubernetes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Kubernetes is the environment which helps you to manage containers.
Containers. Okay.
Yeah. It's a
Because
cluster.
अरे
yeah,
जो
because every YouTube video these days has an ad about Kubernetes. So
okay.
so that mainly helps you with the maintain a container.
Hmm. Okay, on Saturday, then I'll explain the remaining things. We'll see Kubernetes also on Saturday. I have one more
So
topic, Kubernetes, Saturday.
so tomorrow we're connecting at the same time, 12 to 3.
12, yeah, 12 to 3 will be the class tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'll see you next week. Not, sorry, not
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes. Thank
Yeah,
you, Manoj. Thanks for your
Bukra,
time. Yeah.
Bukra. Ibrahim, Bukra, you come to office.
Thank you for making the revision, Manoj. It was helpful.
Thank you. Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, Manoj. Bye.
Hey
Bye,
guys, see you
everyone.
tomorrow.